I cheated and said it didn't count. He got full custody. And now my son calls his stepmom, Mom. My name's Kayla. By the way, I'm 32. And this whole thing, it's a total mess. And honestly, it's not my fault. So I met Daniel back when I was like, Drista. He was sweet, a little too nice. Maybe like the kind of guy who'd give you the shirt off his back, even if he was freezing. He had a decent job. Nothing fancy, just steady. My job was, my job. It paid some bills, but his money, that was the good stuff. He always picked up the tab, no questions asked. I always made it clear my money was mine, for my things. My fun? He just nodded and said, whatever you need. Babe? I really thought I had him wrapped around my little finger. He was so eager to please us. We moved in together pretty fast. Why not? My roommate was driving me crazy, and his place was big enough for two, even though he lived like a hermit. Plus, it saved me a ton on rent. He paid for everything. The rent, groceries, all the utilities. I'd throw in a few bucks here and there for, like, decorations or if I wanted new clothes. He never complained. I thought it was awesome. I mean, who wouldn't want a guy like that? He was so easygoing, so available. He was always there if I needed a ride, or if I needed him to pick up something for me. I just figured he was grateful to have me around. Looking back, maybe I should have seen some signs, but I was living my best life. He was just so agreeable. If I wanted to go out with my friends for a girls' night, he'd stay home. If I was tired after a long day at work, he'd make dinner. It was pretty sweet. Honestly, sometimes he'd get this look, like he was thinking too hard about something, but I'd just roll my eyes and say, "You're being dramatic. It's not that serious." And he'd drop it every single time. We got married a couple of years later. It was a small thing, just what I wanted. He wanted a bigger wedding, of course, but I told him it was too much fuss, too much money. Why blow all that cash on one day when we could use it for, a down payment on a house or something? He caved, as usual. We bought a house soon after, a cute little place, all in his name, because my credit wasn't great. And he was so eager to handle it all himself. I mean, it was our house, even if his name was the only one on the deed. Then our son, Leo, came along. Oh, he was cute, but babies are a lot of work. A lot. And I had my job, my friends, my own life. Daniel, though, he was obsessed with Leo. He'd spend hours just holding him, talking to him, doing all the diaper changes and night feedings. He was like, Mr. Mom, which was perfect for me. Someone had to get some sleep. And it wasn't going to be me if I was up all night. I'd post pictures of Daniel with Leo on social media. My amazing husband and dad. All my friends would comment. He's such a good father. And I'd just smile and pretend I was doing just as much. Why ruin their perfect picture? But between us, I wanted to scream. He's doing literally everything. But I just kept quiet. Things started getting a little tense. Though, Daniel started complaining. Complaining? Can you believe it? He'd say he was exhausted. That he needed a break. I'd just look at him and say, "You're a dad now. This is what you signed up for." He'd try to talk about how I wasn't pulling my weight. How I was always out. How I never helped with Leo. And I'd just shut down. I'd go quiet. Maybe tear up a little. And he'd always back off. He couldn't stand it when I got upset. He'd apologize, even though I hadn't done anything wrong. It worked every time. He also started getting into new hobbies, wanting to hang out with friends from his job. And I was like, hello. What about me? What about Leo? It always felt like he was trying to escape. If he wanted to do something, it should include me, right? He'd try to explain that he needed some time for himself. I'd just roll my eyes. You're being ridiculous. I'd say, we have a child now? Your life isn't just about you anymore. And then I'd remind him about all the sacrifices I made, which was a lot, obviously. I mean, I could have been out living my best life, but I chose him and Leo. He started setting boundaries, which was the most annoying thing ever. He'd say, I need you to be home by X time, or I need you to help with dinner on these nights. And I'd just laugh. Are you serious? You're telling me what to do now. He'd try to explain, like he was in therapy or something, about partnership and respect. Gag me, I'd just say, you're being dramatic, and change the subject. Or I'd make some passive-aggressive comment. A little dig disguised as a joke. Like, oh, so now you care about me being home? When I'm actually having fun, he tried to tell me he was feeling distant, that he felt like I didn't care about his feelings. And I just looked at him and said, you're really blowing this out of proportion. It's not that serious. I mean, what did he want? He had a house. a kid, a wife who was, me. What more could he want? He was always comparing me to other women. Not directly, but I could tell. He'd mentioned how so-and-so's wife was always baking or something. I'd just stare at him until he shut up. Seriously? You're going to compare me to some perfect housewife? Please. He got really into this growth mindset thing. Therapy, journaling, all that jazz. He'd come home and try to talk about his feelings. And I'd just be like, can we not? It was exhausting. He'd say things like, I feel invalidated when you dismiss my emotions. And I'd be like, oh, my God. You sound like a textbook. Just chill. He even started setting boundaries with me. Like, he'd say he wasn't going to talk about certain things if I wasn't going to be respectful. And I'd just stare at him. Who did he think he was? Then, the cheating, okay. So I was out with my friends. And yeah, maybe I had a few too many drinks. And this guy, he was just so charming. And he actually paid attention to me. Not like Daniel, who was always so wrapped up in Leo and his stupid chores. It was just a moment. A mistake? It didn't mean anything, Daniel found out. I don't even know how. He must have checked my phone or something. That privacy invader, he started yelling, which he never did. He was furious. And I just calmly told him it didn't count. I was drunk. It was a mistake. It literally means nothing. I used the tears, the dramatic shutting down. I even tried to weaponize my vulnerabilities, talking about past bad experiences. But it didn't work this time. He just kept staring at me with this look in his eyes, like he didn't even know me. He said, how could you, with everything we have? And I just kept saying, it didn't count. It wasn't real cheating. I tried to make him question his perceptions, to gaslight him into thinking he was overreacting. But he wasn't falling for it anymore. He just looked completely burnt out, exhausted. He finally just went quiet. He stopped arguing. He just stared at me, disengaged. He'd tried for so long, and now he just looked emotionally numb. A few weeks later, he came home and told me he wanted a divorce. Just like that. Out of nowhere. I mean, yeah, the cheating thing, but I said it didn't count. And he was just giving up. On Leo, I was shocked. Are you serious? I asked him. You're just going to throw everything away. He just looked at me with that empty expression and said, I can't do this anymore. Kayla, I'm done. Then came the legal stuff. Oh, God. The lawyers? His lawyer was some kind of beast. And mine was, well, she was okay. But she wasn't as aggressive. And that's when everything went sideways. He brought up everything. The cheating, of course. But also every single time I put my needs first. Every time I didn't help with Leo. Every time I dismissed his feelings. He had, a journal. Can you believe it? He had kept track of every single thing. He had records of all his payments. All the hours he spent with Leo. Even texts where I told him he was being dramatic or threatened to leave if he didn't agree with me. He also had a detailed account of how he paid for everything in the house, while I kept my money separate, and he used my own words against me, like when I said the cheating didn't count. I mean, who does that? What a complete psycho. I tried to argue. Of course. I told the judge he was just being vindictive, that he was trying to ruin my life. I tried to portray myself as the loving, supportive wife and mother who was just trying to balance work and family. But he had photos, too. Photos of me out with my friends, while he was home with Leo. Photos of him at every single school event, every doctor's appointment. It was a full-on campaign against me. The judge looked at everything. She looked at his meticulous records, at his calm, reasonable demeanor, and she looked at me, flustered and defensive. And then she made her decision. He got custody. Full custody. My son, Leo, would be living with him, and I would have visitation. Like I was some kind of second-class parent. And then the kicker. The judge ordered that Leo would primarily reside with Daniel, giving him sole decision-making for school and medical matters, with my visitation limited to specific weekends and holidays. I mean, my jaw dropped. I literally couldn't believe it. I cheated and said it didn't count. He got full custody. And now my son calls his stepmom, Mom. So here I am, 32 years old, living alone in a tiny apartment. My son, Leo, is with Daniel. He visits me, sure, but he's not with me all the time. Daniel has his routine down, his school stuff, his activities. He's like the perfect dad now. My friends, well, some of them are still around, but a lot of them have kind of drifted off. I guess word gets around. People hear things. They probably think I'm some kind of monster. I saw Daniel the other day. Actually, he was at the park with Leo, and he looked happy, truly happy. He was laughing, playing with him, And then I saw this woman with him. She was, like, glowing. And she was actually playing with Leo, too. Not just sitting there, scrolling on her phone, like I used to. She looked at Daniel with actual love in her eyes. I could tell she thought he was amazing. He looked at her the same way. It was sickening. And then, the worst part. I was picking up Leo for one of my visitation weekends. He ran to me, gave me a hug. And then, as he was getting into my car, he turned and waved to her, this new woman, this total stranger. And he said, clear as day, bye. Mom, my blood ran cold. I couldn't believe it. My own son, calling her mom. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell him, I'm your mother, not her. But I just stood there, frozen. My reputation totally shot. People at work are weird with me now. Like, they know something. I hear whispers. It's not like I got fired or anything, but promotions. Forget about it. It's like I'm blacklisted. My own actions. Huh? Please? It's his fault for being so petty and keeping all those records. And it's her fault for being so sneaky and getting my son to call her mom. That little manipulative. Honestly, sometimes I just sit in my tiny little apartment and think about it. And yeah, it sucks. It really, really sucks. But do I regret what I did? No, not really. I mean, I did what I thought was best for me at the time. I just regret how it all turned out. I regret that he was so sneaky and vindictive. He probably planned this whole thing from the beginning, just waiting for me to slip up. I don't care anymore. Really, not about him, not about what anyone thinks. People can judge me all they want. I just wanted what was best for me. And it just so happens that it didn't work out the way I planned. It's his fault. Honestly, he should have just stayed quiet and let me do what I wanted. He should have just been grateful. Instead, he decided to ruin everything. And now I'm stuck here, just trying to figure out what to do next. It's not fair. You know, it's just not fair.